Hey, my name is PolishLynx. Welcome to Katawa Shoujo. If you are fresh with me playing Katawa Shoujo, I'd suggest just going to the first episode. Because we are not playing the roots for the next girls from the very beginning, but from the choice that differs, basically. To not cover the same thing over and over again, right? It's one for the sake of my voice. Two, so we can cover more games. So yeah. Anyway, we've covered Shizune's route and Lily's route. Lily's route superior to Shizune's. Shizune's route is like because Shizune's anyway, today we are getting to try getting endings for Hanako, for whom the endings are differing because there are actually three of them instead of two, and she apparently has a bad end. So, well, you told me you want to see it, so I have to get it. I wanted just the good endings, but okay, we'll get all of them. Let's load the game where it's supposed to be loaded, and this time we are going to the library. The library seems as good a place as any to go. Hanako looked as if she was taken pretty off guard by Lee leaving, so she might want someone to talk to. Slinging my bag over my shoulder, I make my way out of the classroom. Let's go. I walk down the hallway to the library, past a multitude of closed doors. Through each one of these, sound of furious rehearsal can be heard. Rock music blares out of one door, almost as loud as a concert. I bet it's Hokage tea time. I guess that's one of the advantages of a private school. There are actually enough rooms to go around time like this. And when I think about it, the grounds and buildings of the school are kept in pretty good condition. That can be too cheap. I've heard that this place has some pretty serious benefactors. I mean, it's not surprising. Besides, if it's run by someone who has brain, it will manage. The walls of the library only partially insulate the noise of the festival preparations, but they are the only sounds to be heard. Not a soul stirs here, with everyone apparently enjoying the weather outside or working on festival events. Yuko isn't here either, maybe she doesn't work on Saturdays. I quietly walk through the library. Now fairly familiar with its layout, I head to the back, where Hanako's private little corner is. I run my hand along the spines of the books on the way through, feeling the individual texture of each as I glance across the titles. I used to do this all the time at the library at the hospital. Some things just never change, I guess. Like the smell of a library. No matter how much care you take, the paper in books is always going to degrade with time. Probably, no matter which library you go into. Anywhere in the world, it must have the same musty smell. I find something that looks light enough to read without any major thoughts involved and look for Hanako in the reading area. Once again, she's sitting on a beanbag with her back to a bookshelf, reading the same book she'd had in the classroom. She's slowly making her way through the pages. Unlike last time I saw her here, I quite like a seat in a beanbag. The noise is enough to catch her attention but not to startle her. This delicate routine that must be followed each and every time I try to talk to her almost feels like a hunting game. Is that the same book as before? Yes, I'm almost finished. Cool. I wonder if I should... Do you mind if I borrow it when you're finished? My mouth is faster than my mind, it seems. Sure. You may not like it, but... I'm sure it can't be that bad after all you've stuck with it, haven't you? I guess. I stood in my beanbag and set about reading my own book that had been buried in my bag. It's a light novel about pirates. To be honest, I'm barely skimming over the words, having chosen the book merely because it belongs to a different genre than I usually read. Find it hard to master enough enthusiasm to finish the book, and noting that I've inadvertently distracted Hanako quite a bit, I decided to try and make a conversation. So, I silly left without you? She nods before taking her eyes off her book. She must have been really into it after all.
Liz said she had to go and meet someone.
Oh?
Akira, her sister.
I haven't heard her talk about her family.
She and Akira used to live together.
I thought all the students lived in dorms.
We don't have to.
But it's easy, right? I mean, there is food here and you're close to school. I don't think I've ever been to class on time so often in my life. How does it feel? I wonder. Oh my god. I've been late to so many classes in the morning. So many. Her badly hidden smile proves quite rewarding. In the back of my mind, I know I have a bit of homework to catch up on, but it's quite comfortably here. No one can find me and force me into working for their pet project either. Also, speaking of getting late on classes, in junior high school I had one day, I think on my second year, where I would start classes at 10 AM. So it's late basically, not early, right? Because you had 2 classes before that. And I had 2 hours, so basically 2 times 45 minutes geography classes. I think I've skipped about half of those first ones, the first freaking lesson of geography, about half times throughout the year, because I couldn't get up. Like, what the hell? I couldn't get up at the lesson that starts at 10 AM. But I'm pretty sure you know the reason for it, right? Those PCs and video games. Ugh. I'm like, yeah, I'm starting at 10. Yeah, I can play a little more. Yeah. But the teacher didn't care really. She's like, he has good grades. I actually did. From geography, yeah. For that time thinking about the festival, another question comes up. Hey Hanako, what are you doing for the festival? Then again, the geography test was actually in junior high. Was also the only test when I was caught cheating. Technically, I wasn't caught cheating. Like, we ended the test, we gave them back to the teacher. There was like 10 minutes, maybe 10, not 10, but 5 minutes until the bell would ring, and she's like, Lynx, come here, we will check what you wrote over here. And she literally asked me every single question. Oh, fuck. And I was like, oh, shit. Well, rest in peace. But later, I would basically memorize everything for geography. Every single detail to crush every single test. And if she tried to pull something like this again, I would just wreck it. Anyway, for a split second, I think that Hanako is about to throw her book in the air from the shock.
Sorry?
I was just asking what you're doing for the festival tomorrow. Anything planned?
I don't know.
Hanako answers in the way that people do when they don't want you to ask any more questions. I take it large crowds and love is really her thing. Oh. Okay. This is awkward. Change the subject. Change the subject. So, what's Lily's sister like?
She's nice. She's pretty like Lily, but she dresses businesslike.
Businesslike?
She's always wearing a suit.
I see. And that makes her less pretty somehow? Hanako gives an embarrassed shake of her head.
No, just different.
I'll admit it that this got me intrigued to hear Hanako talk about someone older than Lynx at first, and to be complimentary about it too. But as I try to picture this mystery sister, all I can think of is Lina's suit, and I can't imagine that not being attractive, not at all! Well, Akira is pretty attractive, yeah. Well, one day you'll have to introduce me to her.
Okay.
Our brief conversation ends up as abruptly as it started, and we both return to our novels. The passage of time is marked only by the gradual movement of the patch of light cast through the window. Seems like with Hanako we quite similar as with Lily, like, you know, you can enjoy a little talk, but also you don't have a problem being quiet. And that's a great thing. Slowly the noises from the various rehearsals in the building fade out and die as students start to get hungry and tired. Just thinking about that makes my stomach start to turn knots around itself. Thanks, now that it's happening to me as well. I think it's time to head back. I'll need to go and start up the fire in the kitchen. Do you think Lily would be back right now? I think I might head back to my door. I'm pretty tired from this week. And not a word of that is a lie. Moving to a new school as it ramps up for a major event has been taxing, so to say the least. I can feel myself nodding off as I read my book. Me reading history books in high school. Technically trying to learn in high school most of the time. Like first 2.5 years, maybe not 2.5 years, but first 2 years. I don't know why. Anyway.
Okay. I might stay here a little longer.
Looking at Hanako's book, I can see that she's only a few pages away from completing it. For a moment, considering hanging around until she finishes, but once again my stomach turns, emitting a gargling sound. I would wait. Sure thing. Well, I'll going to head off before it gets dark. I'll see you around, okay?
Okay. See you, Hisao.
Later.
Hisao?
What's up?
Thank you for hanging out with me.
I can see how hard it was for her to get that simple sentence out of her mouth. It leaves me hanging for a moment. So, there is someone in the school who is even lonelier than me. Maybe lonely is a wrong word. I haven't been lucky in combat for the first week, but I've still managed to feel somewhat alone and detached. Maybe lonely is a wrong word for Hanako too. She has Lily after all, doesn't she? I realize I have been standing there far too long without answering and pull off a flawless, not too exaggerated smile. You're welcome. Good night, Hanako.
Night.
I leave her to finish her book and head back to the dorms and the promise of food. I like Hanako. Which is probably not a surprise, right? The next day, I wake up feeling a little lightheaded. It's almost noon already. Sunday, okay. Sleeping late is fine since it's Sunday and there are no classes. Not just a Sunday fall, but the festival as well. From my window I can already see some people at the soba booth slinging noodles onto plates for people with a craving for low quality food. I throw back a handful of my morning meds and ponder how to spend the day. There will be a few exams in the comic week, but I don't consider those as ominous as others, so I'm not as worried about them as I probably should be. With no urgent obligations regarding education, I should be free to spend the day at the festival as I like. Let's do just that. Finishing my morning routine, I exit in the hallway, intending to go out and find something to eat. Passing by his door, I decide to see what Kenji's up to today. Out of the impulse. I'm curious if he has any plans since everyone is doing something. Then again, I can picture him having built a soundproof shelter in his room. Or possibly something like a fort, complete with "No girls allowed" sign. And with the "girls" crossed out and "body" crudely scrawled underneath it. Knocking on his door, which is likely devoid of any kind of sign, I hear again the something clicking of at least 10 locks being pulled back. The door opens up a crack. Let's give him some time. I think he's done. Who is it? You're supposed to ask that before you open the door. Oh, it's you. Damn, it's early. It's not really that early. What is it, man? Nothing. Was gonna ask what you're gonna do today. Half the school is out there already. Out where? Why? What? What? Is it special? Why they're there? Who are? I can hear them. It's loud, don't tell me. Has the invasion begun? He suddenly looks more alarmed. What is, man? Yeah, I guess you can see the big wooden booths outside and people selling stuff. What the hell are you talking about? I have my curtains closed at all the times to thwart the snipers. It's the festival. You know that, right? Oh, that's today? Oh, damn, damn it! I can't believe I forgot I don't have my fort finished yet. This is bad! This is going to be a very bad day. It's good you told me this, man. This is going to be a bad day. Why? Oh man, they're going to be everywhere. The people outside my window, socializing. Kenji rubs his temples nervously, started looking very ill. It's going to be loud as hell. Damn! As I was going to go out today, but now it's ruined. Everything is ruined. This is awful. This sucks. What the hell? This really sucks. I can't go anywhere now. There is nowhere to run. Kenji seems nervous. You could even say he's majorly freaking out. I can't believe this. So that's what today was. Damn it, I couldn't even prepare for it. I couldn't even brace myself. And now it's here and I can't do anything. You should have told me this earlier, dude. I mean, at least I know, but I could have known earlier. Imagine what I could have accomplished. Sorry, I thought you knew. So I guess you're not going to do anything today. The weather is good. Yesterday was really windy, so I thought today would be cold. It's not fall, so there is no reason to just stay inside. Yeah, you should check the festival out. Kenji groans and covers his face with his hands. No. I can't do it. They'll leave me alive out there. I know it. That has to be a joke, but he said it with such a straight face. Relatively straight. What are you going to do? We should hang out in here. You can help me build my fort. We might still make it if we work together. There should be a choice here, to be honest. I don't know. I'm pretty hungry, so I thought to get some food first and then check out the attractions. Your class project seemed pretty cool, and I gave a hand with it, so I want to see at least that one and chat with Lily, I guess. And Hanako, possibly. Speaking of that, don't you have any obligations for the project? Are you out of your mind? That blind broad is up to no good. I can feel it in my spleen, man. Her presence is like a dark shadow that's in the way of my great vision. As expected for blind people. What? Besides, I thought you were also... He held up his hand to interrupt me. No. Only legally. Metaphorically, I can see further than any man before me has seen. Kenji looks stoically into the metaphorical distance to emphasize his statement. Thrusting his chin forward to look familiar. Actually, it's just a corridor wall 2 meters away, but it's all the same. I can see the future of mankind, and it's a dark one unless the threat of woman is stifled. They are everywhere. He fingers his scarf nervously, faster and faster, like he's trying to start a fire, then slowly begins to calm down once the panic attack finishes running its course. I'm going to have to find some place to hide in, a safe haven, and then knock the lights out of myself so that I don't have to experience this horrible day. I have the perfect thing for that. I must prepare now. Don't go to the festival. Okay.
Later, dude.
I think I changed his voice as well. Somehow. The door slowly closes with a low creak, and I don't know how to feel about what Kenji just said. But it's not a problem really changing that voice. I think as long as it sounds kind of crazily, I guess it's fine. After buying a plastic plate of takoyaki from a stall belonging to the class next to ours, I take a seat in the school gardens and watch people pass as I tentatively nibble away at the rather blunt tasting item. I guess I shouldn't complain. It's better than nothing and didn't cost much. As I look out towards the school, watching the people coming and going proves a surprisingly entertaining way of passing time as I eat. Little children, accompanied by parents or grandparents, scamper about in the dinner from event to event, one hand dragging their company and the other hanging an oversized colorful snack. I can't help but notice the age range among the people here is skewed towards the elderly, something that I'd also noticed when I was walking around town. This must be one of those towns where the only people left are those that lived here their whole lives and ardently refuse to leave, and those want, if it's worth living there, why not? And so far, from what we've seen, it's a nice town, and those wanting to live out the rest of their days in one of those increasingly few tranquil places. I guess that also goes way to explaining how conservative Yamaku's school culture seems to be. Not that I mind one bit, I kind of like how cold Yamaku is, and so the surroundings. The hitfo is another matter entirely. Sitting in one place for so long has focused my mind on how annoyingly humid it's getting, now that the hottest part of the day is here. I'd better get moving yeah. Or this will happen. The sound of the carillon bells take me completely by surprise as I stand up, a reaction shared by a few of the people strolling around as well. The PA system crackles to life after the tolling bells end. Its age shows as the principal makes a barely intelligible announcement over it, officially opening the festival that's very much in full swing. It's quite amusing to contrast the pleasant smiles of the older folks against the alternatively pained and bored grimaces of their younger charges. The students, on the other hand, seem to pay it little heed. Nevertheless, as the address finally ends, all are united in polite, if not overly enthusiastic applause, and then get back to business. Slipping a hand in my pocket to look as relaxed as possible, I casually glance around for something to do. It's somewhat difficult to see very far with all the people around. I decide to fall back on a tried and trusted rule. Go where everyone else seems to be. Gathering. Wait, what? No. Don't do it. You'll be stuck in queues. Right now, that's the school courtyard and surroundings. Throwing the used plate into a trash can, I make my way towards the school building. Seeing the number of stalls around the perimeter of the school building surprised me. Quite a few of the classes must have opted to have multiple of them. In deciding which to visit first, I catch sight of a familiar banner with a blue patterned border and red text. This stall is as good a place to start as any. I'm curious as to how it's going after all of the work she and her class have been doing for it. Stepping up to it, I begin to see why the class took so long to organize everything. Easily twice as wide as many of the other stalls, and with equipment for cooking strewn everywhere. It's closer to an outdoor restaurant than a festival event. As the student in front of me takes a bowl of noodles and leaves, I walk up to the counter. The girl behind it seems quite expert and asks me to wait a moment before she disappears underneath the counter. Says the moment I take a quick glance around. Steam seems to be rising from everywhere as pots and pans simmer away. The most blind of the students are unpacking ingredients while being helped by someone who is probably the teacher of 3-2. It doesn't take long to notice Lily among them, talking with the teacher as she quickly counts out the boxes and packets with her fingers. From her expression and the fact that both she and the teacher seem to be in a state of mild confusion, it appears that there has been some problem in coordination. Before I can stare any longer, the girl behind the counter pops up again, only to look back and ask where the spare change box is. Lee pauses for a moment before she and the girl switch places at the counter, and the teacher quickly walks off somewhere.
Sorry about that. We're having a few problems. What would you like?
It takes me a second to remember what I come for. My eyes quickly dart to the side to read the menu sitting on the counter. I guess some miso soup?
Ah, is that Hisao?
Yep. Looks like we're pretty busy. Her face all but confirms it as she drops her waitress facade.
Somewhere along the line, our order got mixed up. We're trying to fix it now, but it looks like we only have half of what we needed.
Wouldn't serving small portions cover all the problem?
It seems like that's what we'll have to do, for I wish we didn't. The fact that a good half our class is gone doesn't help either.
I glance behind her to see how many people are actually operating the stall. It could be over about 8. I take it that's why your teacher left?
Yeah, that's right. She's going to try and round up a few more of our classmates to help.
Hearing the sound of footsteps behind me, I stealthily glance backwards to see an elderly couple taking place in line. I guess I better stop loitering around and chatting. Here's money for the soup.
So, right. Call me right up.
Lee turns and calls for a bowl of his soup as I hand over the money for it. Taking the coins in her palm, I can't help but notice how efficiently she counts them out with her long, pale fingers. Eventually, satisfied that I've handed over the correct change, she puts it in a small metal tray. It isn't long before the soup is made and carefully handed to her, after which she turns and subsequently passes it to me. Passes it to me. Thanks, I'll come back to drop off the bowl.
Thank you, Hisao. Oh, there is one other thing. Have you seen Hanako?
No, not today. Why? She gives a small sigh of abject disappointment.
It's okay. I was just wondering what she was doing for the festival. You'll come back when you're done then?
Sure, I'll keep an eye for Hanako too.
Thank you, Hisao.
I walk off from the stall and find a seat, carefully cradling the steaming wooden bowl in both hands. Compared to the dumplings from before, this is quite nice. A little cool compared to what it probably should be, perhaps, but the the flavor is enough to cover for that reasonably well. As I drink, I can't help but feel somewhat guilty for not being as involved in the festival as the others. It can't really be helped considering I was dropped into the school only a week ago, but it still weighs heavily on my mind. That, and the fact that the students don't really seem to be enjoying the festival as much as the visitors. Eventually I finish my bowl and leave for the stall to drop it off. Considering that there seems to be no line at all, I take my time walking up. It seems that the teacher's mission paid off. There are now over 1,000 students helping and much of the unpacking has been done. Despite most of them seeming quite relaxed as they work, Lily still appears to be somewhat stressed. Lily doesn't look impressed at all, and I can't really blame her. On top of her issues with her stall, she still seems to be worried about Hanako. I can't really help her with the former, so I guess the only way I can help is by trying to her mind off our shy mutual friend. Placing the bowl back on the counter, I call out to Lily. Hey Lily, don't worry about Hanako, I'll go find her and hang out with her, okay? I can see Lily's relief plainly written across her face.
Thanks, Hisao. And if you see anyone from my class, can you tell them to come back here, please?
I mean, I know Kenji, that's about it. Will do, have a good one and make sure to take a break, okay?
I will if I can. See you later, Hisao.
I leave Lee in the stall and head out in search of Hanako. In a way, I feel bad for leaving her with the crowd, but even though she was clearly under pressure, I can't help but think that she's enjoying herself. The halls are packed with swaying crowds, meandering throughout the festival. If there is only one thing I know about Hanako, it's that she's not going to be anywhere near this. And with the students showing their friends and finding their dorms, I doubt she'll be there either. Following blind intuition, I move against the grain of the crowd. Thankfully, this crowd seems to be slightly less festive than your festival crowd. I assume this is out of consideration for the student body. Also, thankfully, they make that disgusting painting invisible to us. As I force my way through the masses, it doesn't take long for them to thin down into nothingness. And unfortunately, we get to see the painting. This is not surprising since I'm standing before the library. Even the most eager of students don't bother to show anyone this section of the school. Why? Why? Okay, if it was my university where I attended... I would definitely show them. If for some reason I were to show my parents the place, I don't know why I would do that, but whatever. I would get them to library, because library was freaking good looking. Especially on my campus. Technically there were 3 campuses there, okay? One for like IT, maths, physics, architecture and so on. Although other one was like more electrical engineering, mechatronics, something like this. And one would be for management and crap like this, right? I thought, and that's quite ridiculous, because I studied logistics, had to attend lectures in all 3 of those. So yes, I had to travel around. That was annoying as heck. But yeah. I would show them the library on the IT campus. It was so good looking. I kind of regret not checking if they had any manga there. But okay, that doesn't matter. But technically I probably could get there easy for. It's not like they checked your ID or anything if you got onto the campus, no matter how you look at it. But yeah, I mean, I have actually no point in going there, to be fair. Given that I'm not studying anymore. I did not drop out for. I mean, I have the engineer title. That's something, right? Which is basically equal to bachelor's. For, to be fair, it was technical university, so I guess no matter who you asked over here, you would hear that still engineer title is a bit higher on technical university basically than your bachelor degree on normal university. I would say that might be true because whoever studied on different university in this city, the same thing I did, they had way less hours and way less subjects, so yeah. But that doesn't really matter. I mean, in the end, it kind of sucks that we didn't have the continuation of this to get the masters. Maybe I would go after it if it was on the same place, but yeah. Anyway, as I enter the library, the noise of the festival fades into the dull background noise, and soon I'm in the reading area at the rear of the room. Behind one of the partition desks, I see the top of a head, with straight dark hair catching my eye. Hey Hanako, I had a feeling I'd find you here. The head jumps a little in shock before slowly peeking over the partition.
Huh? Hisao?
Hey, he was pretty busy, so she sent me to find you.
Oh, do you want to sit down?
Actually, I'm feeling getting hungry. Would you like to get something to eat from one of the stands?
I brought some food, so...
I shouldn't be surprised, but it was worth a try. Expecting her to go outside today was a long shot. How about we eat in the tea room? I passed by it on the way here and no one was around. We can make some food there and it will be a little more comfortable. What do you say? Dude, you have beanbags there. It can't be more comfortable. I would say beanbags are more comfortable than chairs that you have in classes. But okay.
Sure, let's go.
Hanako closes her book and puts it away with deliberate, practiced movement. Good to go.
Yeah.
We walk side by side from the library to the tea room. As expected, there is barely a soul around. If it weren't for the murmurs through the walls, you wouldn't tell that there was a huge festival going on outside. Hanako carries her bag in both hands and focuses on just the floor ahead of her. Every time and again, she seems to break her pace a little and steps in slightly shorter paces. The first time it happened, I gave it no mind, but I soon noticed that she does it on a regular basis. Are you alright? She stops dead in her tracks.
What?
It kinda looked like you were tripping or something. A pink blush rises on her cheeks as her gaze returns to the floor.
It's nothing.
You know when you say nothing like that, people are inspired to ask further questions. For a second, I don't think she's going to answer. Prepared to leave it be, I almost set off walking again when...
It's a game.
Game?
Do you see the floor here?
Yes. What a bizarre question. The floor looks just like another floor, covered in those tiles made up from squares of linoleum. Wait, it's squared? No, it's not. It's not square, it's not triangled, it's not circular, it's nothing. Or maybe we just don't see that detail. Nothing noteworthy. Well, yeah, what about it?
Sometimes, when there's no one around, I only step on the darker ones.
Understandable. I mean, I did sometimes do that on, you know, zebra crossing. Darker ones. Shuffling her feet, Hanako points two of her shoe at a tile that is barely a shade darker than the others.
Like these ones.
Oh, right. So these ones are no good. I point out the nearby tile.
Yeah, something like that.
Ice. Do you play this game a lot? Hanako shakes her head. Just when the holes are empty? She nods. Well then, no point in stopping. I'm beginning to get really hungry. She nods again, this time with a little more enthusiasm. Well then, let's go. We set off down the hall, and this time I notice that Hanako is paying a little less attention to the floor. I wonder just how lowly does someone have to be to come up with a game like that. But before I realize what I'm doing, I find myself trying to aim each step so it lands on the correct tiles.
I mean, yeah.
The noise of the festival is slightly louder inside the tea room, but the breeze coming through the open window makes it worth it. Okay, you won't tell me that this chair is more comfortable than a beanbag. I won't believe it. While thinking, I walk to the windowsill and inhale deeply. I sometimes forget how clean the air is here compared to back home.
Would you like some tea?
That would be great, thanks. It occurs to me that this is the first time I've been alone with Hanako without her trying to be somewhere else. Turning from the window, I watch as she makes a simple pot of tea and arranges some sandwiches onto a plate. I've seen her do this before a number of times, but this time she seems slightly different. It's like she's calm. Eventually she places the small tray on the table and pours 2 cups of tea. She got used to your company, basically. The fresh scent of brewed tea mingles with the breeze, and for a second I feel like I'm the only one in the world. I think I know why you like this room now.
Huh? I don't know what you mean.
Well, there are quite a few people out there, but in here it's like another world. You can pretend that there is no one around for miles.
You're right. It's like the world has forgotten this room. And because of that, you can forget about the outside.
That would be appealing in some cases. As far as I can tell, conventional bullying doesn't exist in this school. What's conventional bullying? What? But then again, I haven't seen a single person talk to Hanako besides Lily. What did you freaking I need to check this conventional... What the fuck is it? What do you mean by conventional bullying? So basically, by conventional you mean not cyber? Okay, never mind. But yeah, I mean, it felt pretty freaking weird that no one would interact with her. And then again, it's got to do with her scars, I think. We'll probably find out what's this about, exactly what happened and so on, right? Technically, I mean, with Lily, we found out that, well, there was a problem with family, not really. Technically, no matter how we look at it in this game so far, even for, like, the girls had the disabilities, at least when it comes to Shizune's and Lily, the problem with kinda faced wasn't about that. I mean, technically in both cases it was family matters, more or less, kind of. Technically more into the Lily side. In Shizune it was more about her personality, actually, I would say. So, yeah, whatever. Let's get to the game. But again, I haven't seen a single person talk to Hanako besides Lily, which is crazy. If you're ignored by the world, a place where you can forget its existence would hold a special appeal. Yeah. That's a good point. It's like this room gives you some kind of complete freedom.
Yeah. Say, do you play chess? No, I'm sorry. I don't know its rules at all.
Chess. I've played a bit, I guess. I take it you've played before.
A little.
Without saying anything more, Hanako moves to one of the cupboards and digs out a small chess set.
Do you want?
Sure, why not? I cut her off, but she doesn't seem to mind. Let's play chess. We arrange the pieces, and before long we are sending pawns charging to their inevitable fates. I take my time and intently examine each move and its consequences, nostalgia for the game, taking second lanes to the matters at hand. For a time, the game's lengthy battle of attrition, but I spot an opening and tear a line in her defense. If anything, when it comes to those kind of games, I've played checkers, if anything. That's like about it. And Scrabble. And yeah, that's about it. I mean, I didn't play many of those games, which is crazy. Technically, I play, I think right now, just more than in the past. But it's still in video games only, like, you know, Mahjong Solitaire, Poker, what else did you play? Klondike Solitaire. Yeah. Anyway. A few moves later, her king is cornered by several of my pieces. Checkmate. Wait, you win? You won? You won? What? You aren't bad at this, are you? And on a surprise, her taking is pretty good, but several times I was able to exploit her lack of prediction. I pick up a piece and examine it. It looks relatively new, yet worn for its age.
I guess not.
Does Lily play? The absence of Hanako's answer caused me to think about my question.
A bit. This is the first time I've played against someone other than her.
Or? She cuts herself abruptly, leaving the answer hanging in the air. Someone else she knew before coming to Yamaku, maybe. Well, then, I'm honored to have played against you. I guess must have been someone from her family. I mean, Hisao doesn't know yet in this route, right? We know because we played Lily's route. what's this about, basically, more or less. A little bit. A little glimpse of what it might be about. Anyway,
can we play again?
she asked as she were asking me to cut off my own hands. The spirit of competition's got in her. Sure, but don't expect me to go easy on you this time. I will play against you with my left hand. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you've seen this story, right? It's been up for a while in the net. Anyway, not that I was before, mind. She seemed to appreciate the competitive tone.
Same here.
As we are setting up the pieces, there is a noise at the door.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Lily!
Oh, hey there, Lily. Are you finished?
You both are here. Wonderful! At the rate, our teacher managed to run up some extra help, so I was able to leave. Have you been here since you left?
Pretty much. We've just been playing a bit of chess.
Would you like a cup of tea? Actually, I think it might be a good idea to go outside for a little while.
The instant drop in Hanako's face shows her objection to this plan, even though she says nothing. I feel strangely compelled to voice what is plainly in view on her face, but Lily can't see. I kinda think that we should just stay here.
Really? It's so crowded here that I was thinking we should leave the school and head for the local tea house. You mean the Shanghai? Of course, with everyone at the festival, it should be practically empty.
Tea house.
Oh, that's right. You probably don't know of it. I do, actually. There is a tea house not far from here, which we go to every so often.
I mean, I wouldn't mind some tea. Sounds like a plan. Hanako, what do you think? Hanako jumps a little at being forced into conversation about the tea. She seems less distraught than before.
If it's the Shanghai, I think it will be nice. Well then, it's settled. Let's be on our way.
Hanako and I rise from the table and our preempted chess game. Before I can do anything, Hanako has poured the piece into a small container and placed the board away. Looks like we're ready now. Please, lead on. Hanako moves to the side and we venture onto the school's corridors. The pair leads me through a series of unfamiliar doors and we emerge onto the side of the building opposite of the festival grounds. Insulated by the heavy stone of the building, the noise from the crowd has faded to a murmur. Strange. I thought that most people would be beginning to leave by now.
They're probably here to view the fireworks.
Fireworks?
Yeah, apparently the school puts quite a show. A lot of people come from town just to watch them.
This decision to leave the school ground seems to make sense now. I mean, for her it would be just noise, I guess. Hanako would probably have a hard time with the whole town descending on the school, or ascending, as the case may be. For the second time since arriving at Yamaku, I find myself walking down this road with Lily. Only now that I can barely hear the incessant noise of the festival, I realize how loud it was. I can hear my ears ringing slightly in the still evening air as they recover from days assault on them. Hanako clings to Lily but still manages to guide her along the road. That and avoid the occasional gaze from curious pedestrians appears to completely sap her constitution. She rarely raises her focus from the ground in front of her, nor does she utter a word. Lily, on the other hand, maintains her prim and proper persona just as she does in school. It's obvious she purposely puts effort into her appearance, rather than hiding it as Hanako does. It's striking how different they are in their way of holding themselves outside of Yamaku's grounds. That said, it's obvious in both of their cases that they do visibly change. Inside Yamaku, everyone is special, which negates the specialness of it. But once we venture outside the school gates, we are returned to the status of outsider and generic labels. Especially when we are still in school uniform. It's like hanging a sign around your neck, challenging people to figure out what is wrong with you. I'm surprised that so many of the students keep it on. Then again, with canes and wheelchairs common among the students, I guess it's not really that much of a giveaway. Actually, we haven't seen, at least in the CGs, anyone on wheelchairs, have we? Not in the class for sure. Or maybe I'm the only one that sees this as a stigma. Maybe you get used to it after a time, like any other school uniform. Maybe. The tea house seems fairly standard from the outside, just an ordinary building with typical signs decorating the entrance. It looks like the type of place you'd walk by without a thought, just another generic cafe in a sea of thousands. If Hanako hadn't steered Lee into the entrance, I would have continued on down the road without even knowing that it existed. Inside the house, it takes on a more traditional feel. Everything seems to have been made from the same lump of timber, from the counter benches to the high-backed booths around the walls. But the most striking feature of the room is the lack of life. I think I can faintly hear something bubbling away in the background, but otherwise the room is silent. Without any direction, we simply wait near the entrance, politely obeying the "Please wait to be seated" sign. Is this place closed? This place closed or something? The sound of a chair falling over echoes throughout the empty room, and a head shoots up from inside the booth.
I was asleep, but welcome to the Shanghai.
Yuko, dressed in a pastel apron and clutching a menu, rushes to greet us. Her Misaligned glasses and ruffled hair cast suspicion on her previous statement. But whether she was asleep or not isn't the first question that leaps to my mind. You work here now? What happened to the library?
What? Lily? Hisao? Welcome to the Shanghai.
Yuko, still waking up, jerks in the violent bow, dislodging her glasses in the process.
Well, my glasses!
As I pick up her spectacles off the floor, Lily offers an explanation.
Yuko works here part-time as well as at the library. It's one of the reasons we like to come here.
Yuko takes her glasses from my hands, shakily putting them back on.
Yeah, that's right, thanks. Shall I show you to the table? There is no one else here, so you can choose your table and order whatever you like. But there may be a delay, as I will have to make it myself. It's alright, Yuko. Just a pot of black tea and a plate of sandwiches will be fine. Right. I'll get right on to that.
Yuko hurries off to the back of the cafe, leaving us still standing at the entrance. She pushes the swing hall doors open before realizing that she hasn't seated us.
I'm sorry. Please sit whatever you like. I'll be right back.
She just said that earlier. Following her advice, I lead Lee to the nearest booth as Hanako follows. She literally said that there is no one, we can pick whatever place we want. It's okay. No need to stress yourself over this. As I begin to sit next to Lily, I realize how appropriate this place is for Hanako. The high-backed booths totally separate you from the rest of the room, and it doesn't look like it gets all that many customers. All the furnishings, from the cushions on the benches to the condiment holders, look dated but aren't overly worn. I wonder if Lee deliberately selects places like this to take Hanako. She seems like the type that would go to lengths to cater to Hanako's unique predicament.
So, Hisao, I didn't know you played chess.
Well, not very well, but I do know how to play.
I suppose the obvious question would be, who won?
This innocent smile makes me hesitate. I don't really want to look like I'm lording my victory over Hanako.
Hisao did.
Yeah, but not by much. Damn, saying that out loud makes me feel like I've done something terrible!
Well done, Hisao. You've accomplished something I've only ever failed at.
Thanks. I haven't played in ages, so it felt good to play again.
Yeah, it did.
Hanako fidgets with her hair a little and looks away as she replies, but a small smile emerges. It's a more extreme of a reaction than I expected, but still kind of cute in that Hanako way. It throws me a little off guard, and only Yuko's cataclysmic re-entry shocks me back into conversation. Are you there, Yuko? Do you need a hand?
I'm fine, I have to do this properly, it's my job!
Concentration plays across her face while she stares at the tray in her hands, as if simply looking at its contents will hold them in place. I think that's what I would be the most worried about. Carrying liquids on a plate. Like, they... a little shake and you're doomed. Anyway, sadly this doesn't prove all that effective. The cups and saucers slowly dance around occasionally, clattering as they collide with one another. Wow, she's shaky. I don't think I would be that shaky, but still. Taking great care, Yuko sets the tray down the table with only the subtlest of crashes.
There, see?
Well done.
Thank you, Yuko.
Yuko head rockets downwards in her distinctive bow before answering.
You're very welcome! Would you like to join us? There is something else I'd like to discuss about that recent order, if I may.
That's right. Lee and Yuko were discussing a pile of books when they first met Hanako. Something about Lee helping with the braille.
Ah, yeah. We didn't get the chance to go through them, did we?
Yuko hastily sits down next to Hanako. Apparently her dedication to this job only goes as far as her concentration. Once it is broken, she suddenly loses it.
I'll be in the library tomorrow afternoon if you'd like to try again. That sounds perfect. I'll meet you there after classes. Lily? Oh dear, that's right. Tomorrow is Monday. How could I have forgotten?
I'm starting to feel a little left out of the loop here. But again, that's to be expected. I've been here for barely a week, so it's impossible to know everyone's schedule.
Well, perhaps we could come to some other arrangement. Yuko, would you be in the library later in the week? Maybe, but this is already overdue. And there are some things I need. This might be a problem.
We'll help Hanako. I don't know what this is about, but let's do it. Lee ponders for a second before discovering the answer.
I wonder, might we be able to enlist the help of another if need be?
To do what? You lost me quite some time ago. Being volunteered for something without even having the slightest idea what is going on isn't really my thing! And here I thought I had finally escaped the clutches of the student council and their repeated attempts to recruit me.
Oh, of course. The other day I was helping Yuko sort the new braille books in the library. But Hanako and I usually go shopping on Monday afternoons. It's quieter on that day than on weekends.
Which makes sense. Weekends in the stores are the worst! You know when is the best to go shopping? Late. Late into the day. Very late. And I mean grocery shopping, okay? Luckily enough, there is one lovely supermarket in here that closes at 11:30 p.m. I love it. That's how you are supposed to be. Oh yeah, and you don't need to open early, to be honest. I won't do any shopping early in the morning. I will do it at night. Gladly. Yes. You know, and like 10:30, 11 you can go do your shopping and it's lovely. And you might be thinking, yeah, but there is nothing there left, right? No, that's not true, because that's when they actually start restocking. Nice. Sure, you won't get fresh bread or whatever, but hey. I mean, technically, I don't really remember eating bread lately. Anyway.
Last week I couldn't go because I was busy with the festival. I meant to sleep away later in the week, but Hanako couldn't make it.
Well, since I can't read Braille, I'm assuming you'd like me to go shopping with Hanako.
Correct. You were great help to me the other day.
I think I can handle that. Hanako, what do you think?
If you wouldn't mind.
Of course not. I'm still not familiar with all these stores in the area, so it sounds like a good idea.
Okay.
Now
Now that we have that arranged, shall we have some tea?
It's now that our tea has been sweetly by all this time, getting no hotter.
It's my fault, let me put it for you.
Yuko reaches out with shaking hands, but I intercept her. She looks in no state to be handling the liquids. Hot liquids at that. It's alright, I've got it. Since you already made the tea and sandwiches, you fulfilled your waitress duties, right?
I guess.
Yuko relaxes a little, but still watches eagerly as I share out their assortment. As I'm about to bite into the sandwich, a low, loud rumble can be heard, along with a flash of light from the outside.
I take it the show has started.
Only now, looking outside, I realize that dusk has come and gone, leaving us in the peak of twilight. Sparking tracers are upwards, ready to explode in the floral shapes of fireworks.
Let's go watch! Oh, sorry, Lily. Please don't miss the show on my account. From what I've heard, this isn't a bad location to watch them from.
Ooh. That's nice. With the exception of Lee, we rush to the window of the small tea house to watch the show. The strobe of colored lights plays across Hanako and Yuko's smiling faces, and for a second, I forget to look out the window. In this total new world, there are a few things that don't change. I think that's why the school makes such a fuss over the festival. It's a chance to show the similarities between everyone. The show is over all too quickly. Fireworks are expensive, even for the most well-funded schools. They are expensive. I think I stopped liking fireworks for... I mean, I don't really like them being shot normally, because the ones that people buy are like 97% crap, to be fair. Worthless. The good ones are like the ones actually prepared professionally, I would say. So no. It's better to just go and watch them somewhere properly prepared than, you know, just shoot them for the sake of making noise. It's so ridiculous. Yeah. Stop, I didn't read this actually. Before we turn to our tea and sandwiches, Hanako turns to me.
Thanks for today. And tomorrow.
That's okay. I don't think that I could have faced these crowds either. On days like this, it's more relaxing to spend some time away from everyone, don't you think?
Yeah.
Anyway, we've been delaying this tea for far too long now. Let's get back.
Sure.
She's so adorable, man. We return to the booth and our light meal.
That sounded impressive. Bigger than last year's at least. Yeah, it was great. I've never seen them put on such a show. It gets better every year. I'm afraid, however, that during that time the tea has gone cold. Oh no! Let me make some more! This is my fault!
Calm down, Yuko. It's nobody's fault. I take a sip from my cup just to prove the point. This isn't too bad cool anyway. It's like an iced tea.
Really?
Yeah, really. If you add a bit of sugar, it's kinda nice.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. No, I want you to sit down. We'll finish this together.
Okay.
Yuko doesn't seem convinced, but sits down regardless. She carefully measures about 5 teaspoons of sugar. What? How many?
Five teaspoons.
I mean, I'm adding 1 if I feel like it. In the past, I drank tea with like 2 always, but I stopped using sugar eventually in the tea. I like quite literally just sometimes feel like, okay, today I feel like it. 1 teaspoon, okay. But other than that, more often I would add honey to the tea. That's freaking good. 5 teaspoons of sugar. What the freak? You are basically drinking sugar. Anyway. I said a bit of sugar.
I know, but I like my tea sweet anyway.
Crucially, I peer into her cup. I expect that hardly any of the sugar dissolves in the cold liquid. Yeah, she's drinking sugar basically. She stirs it twice before upturning the cup and drinking the contents, sugar and all in a single mouthful. It's not a shot!
You're right, that's not bad at all!
Okay? I look back to Lee and Hanako, both of whom have finished their meal as I witness Yuko's personality in action. Hey, at least she's opening up, that's nice. Not what you hold anyone up, I use her tactic and finish the remainder of my tea in a single swill. Well then, it seems we're all finished.
Should we head back now, or do we want seconds?
Yuko's expression shows that this is quite clearly not a good idea. Yeah, I think it would be best if we get back soon. We do have to get back before curfew after all.
Oh, that is a good point. I'll meet you tomorrow, Yuka. Yeah, I'll be looking forward to it. Lily, goodbye everyone.
We make our way off the small tea house and to the dark of the night. Lee and Hanako once again take point, but under the cover darkness, Hanako seems slightly less stressed than she did on the trip here. We move against the occasional group of people emptying the school grounds, but Hanako seems to lead us along a few minor roads, avoiding the bulk of the crowd. Outside the dorms, the school seems strangely quiet when compared to the noise of the day. Well, then, thank you both for today. I think I learned a lot.
You're most welcome, but I'm afraid that I really must be going. Today's been a long day.
Sorry. That's right, Lee spent all of the day on her feet. Ouch! I know the feeling, and I can imagine that walking outside of the school would be pretty tiring for her. Yeah. Definitely it would be. I feel a pang of guilt as I remember that I was probably the only one in the school that got up around 10 this morning. Sure thing. I actually woke up before 10. Well, I'll see you both tomorrow. Good night.
Good night, Hisao. Night.
The girls return to the dorm and I do mine. To mine. Actually, now that I consider it, today tired me out as well. But it was an enjoyable day. Act 2, hide and seek. Oh boy. I feel like her route is going to be so freaking dark when it comes to the past. I mean, it's kind of obvious from what we know from Lily's route, but it will hit hard. Also, I'm so want the good ending. I want to see it as well. Anyway, it seemed nice, like, you know, she was kind of standing there, people walking around, seemingly like she's alone in the world, and then, nope, sorry Hanako, but you're not alone. Anyway, let's end the episode. We'll of course continue tomorrow. We'll start off, I think, with this intro as well, with this little cutout, this little video, and yeah, we'll see what the hide and seek act is about. Hope to see you in the next one. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.